Don't feel guilty about fueling your body. From my own experience, when I was my lightest, I was running my worst. Oh hey, are you guys ready for me to answer all of your questions about running and the universe? Because that's what we're gonna do today, all right? Everyone's questions that you asked on my Instagram story. I'm gonna answer them rapid fire throughout my apartment. So here we go. The keys to running fast and the secrets of the universe. Let's go. All right, first I changed into pajamas out of my running clothes because I don't want to be chilling and lounging around in my running clothes all day. But that's not the point of this video. Let's get to answering some mother trucking questions. Alrighty squad, I'm gonna move around the apartment so the video doesn't get boring. We'll do a different spot for every single question, or maybe every 2 questions. I live in a pretty small apartment. Got all your lovely questions on my fancy laptop, so here we go. First off, starting strong. Who am I? Where do I go to school? And what am I studying? That's kind of a lot. It's 3 questions, but I'm Amalia. I am a college runner. I ran at Adams State, which is in Alamosa, Colorado, for 5 years, and I got my bachelor's in fine art with an emphasis in painting, as well as a minor in English literature. So definitely an arts and humanities girly. Where do I go to school now though? I go to school now at Suffolk University. I'm a grad student, and yeah, it's in Boston, Massachusetts. I live here now, I work here, go to school here, and I'm studying to get my MSM, which is my Master's of Science in Marketing. So all the nitty gritty behind marketing stuff, which is so much, and it's low-key kind of hard, but you know, I like it. I do like it. And yeah, that's the basics. And I also live with somebody else. Do you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Mitchell Irvin. I reside in Boston, Massachusetts.
That's my boyfriend. So yeah, oh my gosh, golden hour, blinding hour. This is my office for the next question. This is where I work from home, school, projects, my online class. This is my office. How long have I been running for? I started running when I don't even know. I remember my very first cross country meet ever was some like USATF little kid club cross country meet, and I was in 5th grade, so I would have been 11 years old. So I've been running since I was 11 years old. I didn't take it seriously though. I was just out there having a good time. I was playing soccer and basketball and other things, but I started taking it seriously and only doing running in like my sophomore, junior year of high school. So that was what, I was like 16, 17 years old. So that's how long I've been running. A long time. I'm 24 now, but also not even that long. Not even 10 years of serious running. So that's how long I've been running. Same spot, different angle. How do you manage your time between school, running, and working? This was a question that literally got asked probably 20 times. So everybody clearly really wants to know how I manage my time. Honestly, half the time, I don't even know. I feel like a lot of the time I'm flying by the seat of my pants, but I don't think I'd be able to get everything done that I do if I wasn't actually pretty organized. One thing I do is I have a to-do list, a constant running to-do list of everything I need to do, and I make sure to update that every single day. I'm not a planner girl. I never have been. I've tried to force myself to be a planner girl, and it just never worked out. I'm a planner hater, but one thing I'm not a hater for is a to-do list. I literally have a notebook and it's just to-do list, like running forever, so that I always have everything that I have done, maybe things I forgot that I still need to do, and then what I need to do in the present. I also have a calendar, which tells me like important dates, like meetings, race day, practice times, like my practice schedule, work, times that I have to go into work, class. So like the big important things that I have recurring a lot, or like if I have an interview or something one day, I'll put that on the big calendar, but then like little subcategories go on the to-do list. Like I know I have to go to work from this time to this time, but at work I need to do this graphic, do this spreadsheet, and that'll be on my to-do list. So that's how I make sure I'm not forgetting anything. And then as far as like actually fitting everything in the day, I don't even know sometimes. I try to prioritize what needs to actually get done. And something I've always done is make sure that like schoolwork, I'm not leaving it till the last minute. I never thrive under that kind of circumstances. I never have, I never will. One of my mottos in life is if the homework's not done by around 8:30 p.m. and if I haven't finished studying, I'm done. Anything after 8:30 p.m. is just gonna make my brain mush. So I live and die by that statement. That being said, that means everything needs to be done prior to 8:30. I don't know how I do it, honestly, because I have pretty much a pretty big girl job, and then I have 2 side internships, and then I'm in grad school, so I'm taking 4 classes, and I am also on the cross country track team, so it's a lot. But if you space it out properly and make sure you prioritize what needs to get done, you'll be okay. Because there's one thing that I'm always gonna prioritize, and it's my sleep. I get 9 hours of sleep every mother trucking night, and I get everything done. My sleep, don't mess with my sleep. Nothing will mess with my sleep. It's my #1 priority in life, and everything else will go perfectly in order for me to have a good night of sleep. So that's my prize. I'm like, you have to get all this done so that by 8:30 you can start winding down for bed. And it motivates me. It really does. Next spot, this is my kitchen from the other side of the table, my art. Anyway, how do you avoid burnout in running and life? In running, I really do love running. So being burnt out from it doesn't happen often. That being said, I have been burnt out before. The most recent time was last outdoor track season. Honestly, the whole outdoor track season, I was so burnt out, and it's because I didn't take a break after cross country. I went straight from cross country training. I took no day off in between. Usually I take a week off of no running, and I just started training for track, and that was so stupid. Don't do that. Don't ever do that. I had a terrible track season. Don't do that. That's how I avoid burnout in running, is I take breaks in between seasons, and that's my #1 advice. Also, if you're like deathly ill, take a day off, otherwise you're just gonna be burnt out and sad and feel terrible. And make sure you have other things going on in your life than just running. I used to get a lot of burnt out in high school and like maybe my first year or 2 in college. And then once I started having other things going on in my life, I started improving a lot. Like there's a direct correlation between when I started doing things outside of running, like art, reading, hanging out with friends, joining clubs, working, and the time when I was only running. And it's like, here's my running performance when I was doing all that stuff, and here's my running performance when I was doing only running. So, and same thing with life. I try to make sure that I'm only doing things that I really enjoy. Like, I love my job, I love school, I've always loved school, I love what I'm learning. And even in classes where I don't necessarily love what I'm learning, I know that it's building me up towards something that I'm going to love in the future. So I try to make sure that I'm only doing what I love. Even if like there's subcategories of the love that I don't necessarily love the most, but eventually I will, because I know that it'll pay off in the long run. So I avoid burnout and make sure you're recovering and fueling and hydrating and resting enough, because if you don't rest or fuel or sleep, you're gonna be really tired of everything. Next question in my kitchen, which is all the same room, living room, kitchen, dining room. What do I plan to do post-college, and do I plan to keep running? In short, yes, I do plan to keep running 100%. I want to keep trying to run as fast as I possibly can for as long as I possibly can. No, I don't want to start training for a marathon right away. Eventually, maybe I'll run one for fun, but I don't want to train towards a marathon for a long time. And that seems to be the only question anyone ever wants to ask me. What are my plans after college in general? Well, I'd like to have a job, which I like to think I will probably have a job. I've worked, I've got a pretty decent resume. I'd like to work in the running world or in the creative world, which I already am doing right now. So I already have a job, but in the future I would like to still have a job in the creative world, preferably in the running world, but the art world is okay too. I want to be happy. I think I see myself staying in Boston for a while. I really like it here, like the vibes. It is pretty cold, but nothing I can't handle, and it's a great running community. I have a lot of friends here, and the vibes are immaculate. I love living here, so that's kind of where I see myself in the future, both running-wise and life-wise. I'm in my little entryway now, slowly making my way through the apartment, which this is where I was. Now I'm here. It's a really small apartment. How'd you get to run in college, and what was your recruiting process like? My junior year, I wasn't very fast. Well, that's like relative, but I hadn't really run anything that was gonna qualify me to run at a really good running school. So I was like, that's okay. I want to run in college regardless. My plan was always to run in college since I realized my sophomore year of high school that you could run in college. I was like, I want to do that. I don't care where, I don't care how, I don't care what level, I'm gonna do that. So I was gonna go to a D3 school. Ended up not happening because the summer after my junior year, going to my senior year, I went to the Adams State running camp. And that summer I trained every day. Prior to that, all my summers I'd gone to summer camp and I didn't run at all. I actually trained that summer. It wasn't anything crazy. Don't ask me, I don't really remember what I did. I know that every day I ran like 30 minutes a day at least. And I wasn't really running more than 30 miles a week. I had 2 days off throughout the week. I got a lot better. I ran 19:06 in cross country that fall, and then in the spring I ran 5:28 in the mile and 2:22 in the 800, which enabled me to run at Adams State, which is one of the top D2 programs in the country, and they're better than a lot of D1 schools. So I knew that if I went there, I was gonna get a lot faster. That's how I got to run in college. And then my recruiting process, it was just a lot of reaching out to people. People are always like, how do you get recruited? I'm like, you just email people. You go to the roster page, you get the coach's email, and you email them and be like, hi, my name's Amalia. I've run this time. I'm interested in so-and-so university. I want to run in college. I wanted to study this, and I'd love to run for your program, blah, blah, blah. I want to get as fast as I can, stuff like that. You can look up templates for this. I don't even have the emails anymore, so I'm no help in that regard. I think people make it a lot more complicated than it is, but in reality, it's just contacting people. No one is gonna contact you unless you're winning NXN or something. So you need to reach out. Email everyone. The worst anyone can ever say is no. So I say contact everyone. I was out here emailing, I literally emailed Stanford and I was like, hey, like, do you want me to run for you? And they were like, no, girl, like, you don't even meet the walk-on standards. Like, no, we don't want you here. And I was like, you know what, fair enough, but it's worth a shot. So the worst anyone can ever say to you is no. It's my motto in life. All right, I'm in my bed now. And the next question is, these are 3 questions. These were also asked a ton. How do you stop obsessing over comparing yourself to others / teammates? This one was asked a lot, which makes me sad, but it happens to the best of us. Advice for this is really remembering deep down that you are running to make yourself better. You're not running to be someone else or to run someone else's times or to have someone else's progression. It's not gonna happen. Everyone's journey is so unique. Comparing each other isn't doing anything positive towards your running career, towards their running career, towards your overall like mental health and well-being. Just remembering that like you are you, duh. And you deserve to respect your body and your mind by remembering that you are not gonna be anybody else. And comparing yourself to others is only gonna make you sad and probably gonna land you up having some sort of bad relationship with food or your body, and that's just gonna put you further in a hole and it's never gonna make you faster. So if you care about your well-being and you care about your running career, stop comparing yourself to others. I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt, and I don't ever wanna go back there. So don't do it. Don't do it. Cool runner girls don't compare themselves to others. They just get on with it, and they are who they are, and they love their teammates, and they're happy with themselves. Second, how not to feel guilty about fueling. This one also low-key got a lot, which makes me sad. Don't feel guilty about fueling your body. You shouldn't feel guilty about doing something that you need to do, right? Like, I don't ever feel guilty going to take a poop. That's not really relevant. You know, like you have to fuel as a runner. Doesn't matter if you're running 100 miles a week or 20 miles a week, like you need to be eating a lot. You cannot sustain like a healthy running life balance without fueling enough. And way too many runners fall into that mindset where they need to fuel less because they want to look smaller, they want to look like a runner, they need to be thinner, they need to be lighter, and that's just so false. From my own experience, when I was my lightest, I was running my worst. If that doesn't tell you that like that's just not something that's true, I don't know what will. It might work for like 3 months and then you're just gonna get injured, you're gonna get sick, you're gonna get burnt out, you're gonna get reds, you're gonna get even more serious like health complications. You can get like serious health complications can come from not fueling enough. And if that isn't enough to scare you to stop underfueling your body, I don't know what is. Like, I went through that and it was terrifying. So don't do it. It's not worth it. Fueling your body makes you feel so much better. Please fuel your body properly. Last but not least from that little chunk of questions is, do I track calories / how many do I recommend? The answer is no, I don't track calories. I don't think any runner should track calories. I think it enforces a negative relationship with food. And how many do I recommend? I don't recommend counting them, so I don't know how many to recommend, and I have absolutely no science degree in any form or fashion, so I have no qualifications to even say that or what that would be. I don't think it's important. I think you should just fuel your body, listen to your body. If you're hungry, eat. You need to eat more than you think you do, and if you don't eat enough, you're gonna get injured, burnt out, or some other serious health issue. So that's my hot take on that. So fuel your mother trucking body. Still in my bed, a different angle, because once again my apartment's really tiny. But by the end of this, you're gonna have like a full apartment tour, so that's crazy. Pre-race nerves advice. I used to get really bad pre-race nerves, and then I realized that they actually help you run faster if you use them positively. Like, to the point where now I get excited. I'm like, oh, I'm getting nervous. Like, that means it's time to race. It's time to do what I love. Like, it's gonna hurt really bad, but the nerves are gonna help me. And it's so true. Like, if you're really nervous before a race, my camera keeps dying. But what I was saying was to use your pre-race nerves in a positive way, because that's the only way to get any benefit from them. If you harness them and you're like, these nerves, they're actually gonna make the first 2 laps of my race feel like nothing. And that's true, because the nerves are gonna make you have adrenaline and you're not gonna feel anything the first 2 laps. So I'm like, the more nervous I am, the more freebie laps where I don't feel anything there are, which is great. So that's my advice. Nerves are not a bad thing. They're a good thing. They mean you care, and they're gonna help you run fast. Next question, what do I like most about running, and how do I stay consistent with running? So number 1, what do I like most about running? Whiskey. What do you like most about running? Tell them. What do you like most about running? I don't freaking run, bro. What do I like most about running? I like that I can push myself to be the best version of myself and constantly see, not constantly, but I see improvement slowly over time. Like, over the past 10 years of running seriously, I have seen an overall like improvement. And even without that, I enjoy pushing myself every day. Not saying that like I'm pushing myself to the extreme every day, but I enjoy like the self growth that running provides you, both like speed-wise and just like internally and mentally. It also really helps with my anxiety. How do I stay consistent? Well, it helps with my anxiety. So I know that if I go for a run, my anxiety will be better than if I didn't go for a run. I also know that if I go for a run today and tomorrow and the next day and I do my workouts and I do everything consistently, you're getting closer to achieving them. And I know that deep down. So I know that by being consistent, I'll eventually reach my goals. I also just really love running, so going for my run every day isn't a chore to me. Like, I am excited to go on a run every day. So I've always been that way. So I don't know if I'm necessarily the person to ask that, because I'm never really super unmotivated to go run. Some days I don't want to run, but I'm gonna go on my run. Like, it's not an option to not go on my run, because I A, love running, B, want to get my goals, and C, it's just like ingrained in my daily routine at this point that I don't have any other option. So consistency is the key to life though. So learn to be consistent with everything you do in life, because it'll get you where you want to be. Okay, lastly, someone asked me what my skincare routine is. So I figured I would do and perform my skincare routine for all of you to see and to answer that question while I answer rapid fire questions. So here we go. I'm gonna wash my face and answer little short fun questions about myself. Here we go. First up, I wash my face with La Roche-Posay Purifying Foaming Cleanser. This being said, I'm not a super like health beauty guru, and I am definitely not the best with my skin, but it makes me feel really good that someone wants to know my skincare routine, because that means someone thinks that my skin looks really good, and that's a compliment. One of the questions was, what's my favorite food? I go with what's my favorite meal. Favorite meal ever is chicken tikka masala. It's Indian food. However, a close second for me would be shepherd's pie, which is a British dish. It's like ground meat and then vegetables and then potatoes on top, and then you bake it so it gets crispy, and it's so good. I love it so much. Next up, I use the La Roche-Posay Triple Repair Moisturizing Cream. Another question is, where am I originally from? I'm from El Paso, Texas. I grew up there for 18 years of my life, and then I lived in Alamosa, Colorado for 5 years, and now I live in Boston, Massachusetts. Another question was, what was my favorite color? My favorite color is purple. All right, last but not least, I put on chapstick, and that's it. It's like 3-step care routine. And the last question is how to get fast. It's actually to like and subscribe. So subscribe to my YouTube channel, like this video, leave a comment. You know what to do. You should subscribe. That's the key to getting faster. I hear like running on the treadmill watching my videos is how you get faster. So therefore, like, why wouldn't you subscribe to my YouTube channel? So anyways, love you all. Have a great weekend. And yeah.